Morning everybody. Okay, so today we're going to work with creating organic shapes quickly, and I use old laminated sheets that I've had in the past. This was a cupcake I used to make in clay, and all the instructions for the children who were doing the class, but I don't use it anymore. So I just draw out and cut out really absolutely random shapes, not even whatever speaks to you today, and not giving too much thought to even how the inside looks. I mean, I've given myself a sort of a guideline, but it's not important. It's just different shapes, so all of that can go into the waste unless you want to do some sort of line with it or something. And that's just a good way of using up old, already laminated sheets. Now you can use, I've used these before. I'm using these in a new project that I'm doing, and it's basically a book I'm going to create from signatures, but black, they're actually specific colors. So I'm going to do different styles of pages, and with different techniques on each page, but with a limited palette. So my limited palette, I decided, would be black, white, reds and gold. So I want to use everything I have in the studio that is actually, I've got, it's acrylic paints, inks, pencils, anything that I can actually find. That doesn't sound like very many, does it? But anything that I can find, which I do have a lot of tools. So I'm just going to do that. And what I'm going to utilize it on is, I had an old book that unfortunately got damaged, and so I've taken its pages. Now, it is a black and white book, so my pages for my signatures are just going to be small. They're only going to be like maybe three pages in each signature, and then I'm going to bind them together in a beautiful cover. So I haven't done the cover yet, but so this book is black, white, and red. All of the pages are black, white, and red. And I mean, obviously you might have a book kicking around that is just black, white, and red. And this is unusual for me. So this is fabulous. It's got so many different beautiful texture areas already done, but in black and white. So I went, that is awesome. I will utilize those in my collages. All right. So first up, and then I'm going to do like a whole page each time, a whole page, and then fold it over. So you've got two sort of similar, but as you know, when I collage things, they're not as similar, not similar really, because they're always different on each side. So I just love, this is kind of set up for you. For instance, this page here, collage wise, I mean, I just love this piece of this sketch. I could just, cover that up and leave that in. So when you're collaging, you're going to be thinking about utilizing some of the pieces that are already in the book. On the other pages, I'm actually going to print onto them and change the look and build up the pattern, so it's a really nice piece of paper at the background, or it could just be the piece of paper I leave. That just depends on how it turns out. Anyway, but today I'm just going to work with these shapes that I want to utilize in my prints. Now, I have got quite a few backgrounds of just kicking around backgrounds that have been done previously. of greys and reds. I've sort of searched them all out. There's some grey, very, you know, different shades of greys that are just, you know, around. So I thought I might utilize those pieces for this particular short project of using these stencils on the jelly plate. This is some of the stencils already being used on the jelly plate, as you might have seen at the front, right at the front of the video. I used stamps and also a symbol stamp on that one, but this is these cut out. So I'm just going to do that. Now I've got white, black, cool red. I've got also a cadmium red, which is, it's sort of a deep, it's a deeper hue. And in the reddish range, I've got kind of these ones too, which really have no, you know, this is red oxide. So these are kind of, there is a range of red that I'm going to be using. So different pages will have, they will still have red, and this, but they won't have the same red. Also, same with golds. I've got a couple of different golds, different companies make different thicknesses, so I thought I'd try those too. Alright, now I've got the very dirty jelly plate out, which has got a lot of grunge on it from, but that's okay. That's from a previous day's work. Alright, so I am going to just, as I said before, I'm going to use a lot of these that I pulled. They're very grungy backgrounds, and I kind of want this to be a pattern, and maybe this pattern coming through the grunge. So we'll just try. First up, I'm going to put some of this, where is it? This is it here. This hue, this cadmium hue on, which is very, I bought this in Bali, so System 3, never heard of it before, but obviously it must be European because I've never seen it in Australia. I bought it when I was in Bali doing an acrylic over there. Alright, so what I want to do first up is I want to just layer that on, and I want to remove some of the dots onto, now this piece of paper's got sort of grey and gold on it already. So as you know, when I build up my papers, I just like to add many layers. Now these, by pushing through, this piece of rubber is actually from a shop that cuts out O-rings, and this is the leftover. This is the throw out from the O-ring factory. So when I pull that up, it makes it like dots, but they're not. They're all very uneven, and of course you know how I love things to be completely uneven sometimes. So I'm going to pull that up too, which will leave this beautiful sort of circly. I'm going to go and pull that over the grey prepared piece, like so. So we have all those very grungy looking, well, perfect on one side, but grungy on the other. So that's awesome. All right, now for gold. So what I want to do, I might just pull that off though with a bit of gold, because now this gold is semi-translucent, this one I'm using here. So I might just pull it. Now this one's actually got white and grey stencil on it first. I'm just going to pull that off onto there. Clean the plate. I'm sure you've all got so many pieces of paper wrapping, you know, kicking around the place that you started and aren't quite finished, you know. Like I like this one. I like it, but it doesn't really, you know, I love the crissy-crossy stamp thing, but it doesn't really sort of do anything for me. But it would look great if I could just build up the patterns. All right, so the gold has muted the underlying stencil, that one that you can see sort of more on the back side. And the red is really like unevenly muted all over, which is gorgeous. So that can be an under. The translucent is really good. I like that very much. So what I might do is I might do a black, just to change it up a bit. Which is, of course, opaque. It's not... I hope I'm still in camera because I can't check. I think I am. So, the black. Now we're going to use these. Now, I'm going to just put these on randomly. Hanging over the page too, not, you know, not being all... on the page, on the plate, the page. Then with this one that we just did with the knock, yep, I'm going to put that back, line that up and put that back on. When you remove it, you'll get this lovely page where the black is blocked out, and you're left with these gorgeous organic circles. Obviously you can do these, you know, in any, you can do them in bright colors, you can do them in whatever you like. Now if I take those off, because they're plastic and they're not yet, they're gonna leave, they leave this sort of bubbly, see the bubbly effect on the plate, like so. Now you could pull that, you probably if you were quick, I was quick. I have this one here, which is, I quite like this particular bit though. I'm not so crash hot on this bit, but I really like this bit here. So maybe I might just pull half of that. Lola, could you please stop barking? I'm videoing. See how it pulled. All right, so it's very, very muted. You can still see the gold coming through, but you can see this lovely line, all the lines from where these have been. I love it. It's going to stick to making. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to roll this out here. And that bit over there, like so. I'm going to draw in, you've seen me use this tool before. It's the used in nail preparations, pushing back the cuticles and so forth, but it's just a fabulous rubbery silicone surface to play with on the jelly plate. Now, see, it's just a silicone, cute little silicone tool, and I'm going to pull this onto something, and I'm not too sure which. It's going to cover up everything I pull it on. So I'm just going to use this scrap. Oh, nice. So there's the scrap underneath was a bit grey. So that's gorgeous. And I'm going to pull that onto that black and checkery pattern. Now, we might bring some white in now. I'm going to use white on a couple of the pages. Beautiful. Okay, so what else have we got? I might just try and take that last bit off, even though it's drying up quite well. Just try and clean the plate. Now, the plate, as I said, is meant to be grungy. I've cleaned it. So what happened was, I'll tell you the story while I'm removing this. All of this grunge here is I could take it off quite easily, but I quite enjoy having it there. If I wanted a clear one with nothing on it, I would just turn the plate. I was running late and I left a piece of paper. You know, sometimes how you leave paper on there to, you know, to pull it up to make sure you get a great pull. And something happened and I went out to the dogs and I forgot about it. When I came back in the heat of it was acrylic paint and the piece of paper were just glued down totally. So I lost all my edge. I had to put it into, soak it for, you know, in the sink. And when I was rubbing it off, I just left some of the grunge on there. Now, a lot of it has come off over the last week, but there's a few pieces still there. Right, we're going to hit it with some white now, which of course won't stay white for long because I haven't cleaned my brayer, which I could, but I actually don't want to clean my brayer. I just kind of want to. So when I'm doing this, like all of these colors will go together, like because they're all created from the same colors that I'm using. They'll all fit on the page. So even though this looks quite pink, it will still actually work because it's got the same base colors in it as the rest of the piece of paper. And so it's great. It's a great practice to play with. It really is a great practice to play with. You could do that too. You know, you could make these, use the circles if you wanted to. Now I'm going to bring in this one that we did before. I'm just going to pop that on there. Fabulous. Ah, just lovely. This one also that we made from that. So that's another one that has to go that I'll print on top of. And where's my other one? Here it is. There's this one. So these, even though they're different similar designs, but different color, different paints and everything, they still blend together. So they will work on a page or work on a canvas. So if you're making for a canvas, for instance, and you want to have, you know, similar patterns, but slightly different colors, this is the way I would do it. This is how I would do it. I would work with the same color palette and just create pages for a different, you know, for a different look. All right, so now we've got the white there. We could take these off like so. We could pull this on the black. There's a black with a squiggle. That's all this base is. And I hope it hasn't dried out with all my talking. Oh, nice. Lovely. So there's the white paint one on the black with the little drawing, the drawn on. And the black was just drawn in with the squiggly tool and pulled off. So there's another one that will go with that kind of pattern. Now, I might build on those as I've built on other ones. There's only one more piece of paper I want to show you, and it's this one that we did the red dots on. And I'm going to use a gold. Now, this is a marked cheap gold paint in Australia. I don't even know whether I just want to use up what I've got. Literally think I'm using up what I've got. This is not a semi-transparent though. This is opaque, so this will make it very different. And I might go down that way with the clean side maybe. Don't know whether I might go up there with a circle. Like so. So I'm going to go on with this piece. Now, you can utilize any kind of paper, as you know, for printing. So there's that one, which probably to me looks like it's not finished. It needs something else on that. It's not, you see, I find, for some reason, I find this one, I could collage with pieces of that because it has just so much interest and so much different texture going on inside that page. This one doesn't have so much. I think there might be too much gold. It might be a bit over, a bit much for me. But anyway, we'll leave that there. We may pull just pull some of that off onto this one, I think. I've got a couple of pieces of old book I'm working on with the same principle. So just, I think I might pull off that bit of gold. It's quite thick. Okay. I'm just going to pull those off. Now, this is one I've been working on earlier. I'm thinking that I might just put a piece of the gold just there on that end. Oh yes, perfect. All right, and then I might bring the other one up on this edge. So this is going to be, maybe, you know, I can utilize these as different pages or different parts of pages of my gold, black, white. And I might do the same with this actually. I might just pull half of that just to see. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I might just go down the other side and pull the rest. Oops, I'm sticking to myself here. One of the things with working with paint. Oh yes, beautiful. All right, love it. All right now, but so I would probably bring smaller, I could bring some smaller things into the pages. So, I mean, this is, I love this one. This is gorgeous. I like the simplicity of this one. This is actually, yeah, with the organic rings. And this one. And I feel like this one here will need maybe some white, like there. So I'm going to do some white, make that white circles on that one. It's good to look at what you've done and where you want to go with them. This particular piece of paper I just love in its entirety, so I'm not bothered by this. These are little ones I've put on after, little circles that I've got in a stencil, and I might add some of those to the other pages before I go forward. So anyway, this is the first start of my book. These pages I will glue into, when I'm finished, I will glue parts of these and use parts of these to go into my signatures from this book that I'm going to make with the black and white background. So enjoy making your new stencils. Very quick, very fun, and I look forward to seeing you next week.